Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio on this? Thank you. Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn, and this is Welcome to My World, the noon edition on the 8th of December, which is a Tuesday. So I'll just take a second to kind of catch us all up. We've got the VIX is starting to go up again. It's trading 1748 now. And so that's the higher that goes, the greater the indication that these indices may sell off. And looks like there's been a lot of short covering this morning, or at least in the last little bit. So we'll see if they're going to sell this into the close. But they are all about the same. The strongest one this morning seems to be the NQ. And I know we have a lot of NQ traders in here. Gold has been in a bit of a tight range, as has the US dollar. But the Japanese yen and bonds are trading pretty well in sync with one another. And the euro is kind of moving with them too. We've got at 12:50, the Bank of Canada governor is supposed to speak. He's kind of an important figure, I guess, in the economic well-being of the Canadian dollar, because he's probably going to talk about what they're going to do to try and stabilize this drop in the Canadian dollar with oil. So we've really had a sell-off in crude oil, and while it did come back, for those of you who are interested in the Apex, the classic Apex, this was the first green E right here, and then this is the second one. So to establish a confirmation that the trend is changing to long from short, it takes this second green E. Ordinarily, I'd be real leery of this close proximity. These little bunchy apexes can be not so good. But since we've got this this sharpshooter chart, it's a heck of a lot easier to get some confirmation on this. And one of the things I think it's a little easier to see here, but for those of you who are looking for those breakout swing breakout trades, it's very apparent on this chart also. But if you notice, I've talked about this before, how a major street, I mean, Settlement is the main boulevard for the bus driver. But when you've got the midline and the red ice both right here, and then you've got the high of yesterday, this is a whole bunch of significant streets. And crude oil went right up and tested that, backed off, tested it twice, backed off, tested it 3 times, and then pushed on through. And usually when you find a major spot like this, and it tests it once, it will either back off or it will try to test it. And if it doesn't go right on through the first time, then look for that third try, because the third time is a push. And then it went right up. That's why I put these big magnets. This is a really important magnet, 3860 on here. It went right to it. So we'll see what happens from here. But trading between these zones and with these this volume histogram, I think is really this is very, very helpful. Also, when you're looking at any market and you see these 4 big candles down, you're gonna probably 70% of the time, or maybe even more, you're going to get 4 going up, and then it's going to start back down again. So these can be very helpful. Also, if you're notice what time of day you're putting your trades in. If you're putting them in, you're seeing something that you think is going to be a good trade, check to see your time of day. If you're about 1 or 2 minutes before the top or the bottom of the hour, you might want to wait just to see where that 30-minute candle on your market is going to open, because the so-called algo computer generated trades, lots of them are put in at the top and the bottom of the hour. And sometimes the market will change direction, or it will move in the direction it's going. But there can be a volume surge right there. We're trading pretty significant amount of contracts in crude oil today. It's 500,000 right now. I think yesterday it got up darn close to 600,000. And that's pretty significant. So with that, I think that's about all I had. I was going to check to see, meant to check this earlier to make sure. Yeah, we're still in contango with crude oil, and I'm watching that very closely to see if we go into backwardation with that. I mean, this thing will drop like a rock. So, lots of little things to keep your eyes on, but just pick a market. I was talking to somebody who's fairly new, and maybe I'll just pass this along to everybody too. I know when I first started, there was so much stuff and so overwhelming. And I just, for a long time, I didn't think I was ever going to figure this out. And I finally made myself a little condensed cheat sheet with the rules, and I must have kept that by my mouse for 6 months or the better part of a year to use it for a little checklist, because it's so easy. You think you understand the rules, and really and truly you do. But then when you sit down to trade and everything's so, it's all moving, and then there's this and there's that, and the news and the volume and all this stuff, it's very helpful to have those rules that are set in stone right in front of you, so you can kind of quickly glance. Yes, I have the E. Yes, I have the MVP. Yes, I have the whatever it is that is part of your rules. Put that right in front of you, and don't think that that's going to become habit in a week. It's not. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks, and so I can't tell you how helpful that was for me. I think having the rules right in front of my face and making sure I looked at those before I actually pushed the button, and marking up my charts every single solitary day with the entry, whether I took it or not, that wasn't important. I was looking for what I should see, not necessarily what you did see in the activity of trading. What kind of a trade it was, why I was going to enter there, where I would realistically get out, and why. And then what I could have done better, what would I need to make that, better than the way I did it. And over and over and over. It does work. That's all I can tell you. Worked for me anyway. And, this, it's like Daryl says, this isn't brain surgery, but it does take you have to pay attention. There's a lot of little itty bitty stuff. So anyway, this has been my view from my world in Apex land. brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll come back about 2:30 and we'll see what the afternoon brought. Thanks.